Truthfully, you're my sensation. How you kill the scene is a sin. I wanna ride your vibrations. Let our endless summer begin. We going in. Baby, baby, time is of the essence. I ain't in no waiting. I need yes and no, can't acknowledge maybe.
Radiant. I know we've been teasing it this entire
Yeah.
time, kind of been hinting at it. So let's talk Radiant. Let's
Well,
talk,
Radiant is
the
the best
influence.
project that I've put together. It's the best body of work that I've put together, in my opinion, just as far as understanding who I am as an artist and really knowing what I want to get off and what message I want to get across and being able to execute that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, all these projects that I've made prior, like to even the Constellation Kid 2 projects that I were doing, that I just did the last 2 years that I've been back from LA, were a whole bunch of beats from songs that people have liked, right? So it's a whole bunch of beats that everybody is Billboard's top tracks or everybody's favorite tracks. So I'm just jumping on everybody else's favorite tracks, putting my voice on it. And it's like, again, I'm just trying to please y'all niggas, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm on
Yeah.
your favorite beat. Check me out. Like, no, that's not what Radiant is about. Radiant is like, yo, this is Brian Cade, right? And y'all rock with me. You know what I'm saying? You guys know that you know that you rock with me. Even if you don't listen to everything that I drop, there's respect in your heart for me. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm sitting you down, I'm having a conversation with you about where we're at, you know what I'm saying, as far as adults. You know what I mean? I'm 28 years old, so it's like this conversation. And it's funny because I played the music for people from 19 to 65. And it's like a conversation that we can have with everybody in between there, where it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about bringing light. We talking about people feeling good. We talking about getting away to an island where it's uncharted and love is the key. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we focused on. We talking about getting away from the bullshit and giving the best of yourself every day. You know what I'm saying? And again, my favorite song on the project is The Journey, which is the last song on the project. And again, like the lyrics of the song say, forget your expectations. The journey is everything. Free your imagination. Trust the process. It's the journey. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, not only as far as me making these kind of songs, I've never made songs like this, but I don't think there's a lot of people in our quote unquote culture making songs like this, as far as young Black people telling other Black people, like, stop chasing the chains, and you know what I'm saying? Like, my nigga, just be happy where you're at and know that you want to be somewhere else and start working towards it. You know what I mean? But don't be so caught up on a certain destination, because at the end of the day, I had a destination. I was being in LA, having my own place, driving my own car, and being able to make music. And I ended up being in LA, having my own place, having my own car, making more money than I ever made. But that wasn't the destination I wanted to be. The journey continues. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get there, you realize that's not what you want. Then you further understand what you want, and you continue to move. And then you get there, like I said earlier, just like Kanye, he was doing the music. And then when he started fighting against the journey, which has continued to push you away from, I still want to be the number one on the hip hop billboards. It's Drake's time, bro. Continue to move with the journey and you'll find peace, like he has, you know what I'm saying? So me just being somebody who understood that and watched that, and then being able to turn around and turn that into a song, I'm just so very proud of myself, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's, as artists, that's one thing that we in this generation tend to lose track of actually having ourselves on our back, being like, yo, this is like hot. I'm happy that I did this. Because now we have Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter, and all these places where people can give you gratification and let you know if it's dope or not. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like, Pablo Picasso was not renowned until after he died. So all the love that he gets, he's not even able to receive until after he dies. You know what I mean? So if he doesn't give himself any love and pat himself on the back, for all we know, he never really received any love besides the people on his blog or the people in the city that seen it and was like, yo, you the man, bro. You know what I mean? So I think as artists, especially in this era, we got to sit back and be very proud of what we made. And really, like I said, like, really look at yourself and know, what do you stand on? What's your brand? What do you push? What's your mandate? And then start creating towards that. And when you do that, that's, again, when you can just be proud of what you made, you know? Even if you're trying to make the most outlandish record, if that's where your mandate is, and make that your mandate and get yourself there. You know what I'm saying? Tekashi 6ix9ine. If that's your mandate, you like, I'm trying to make the most outlandish, make them look back and make them talk about record of all time. Well, if that's what you're trying to do it. And obviously, you got 100 and something million views in 1 week. He succeeded. You know what I'm saying? But it's about what moves you as the artist. And if it moves you enough, somebody else will be moved by it. And if it moves them enough, they'll tell somebody about it. It'll move, and that's what I'm about with the Radiant and everything I'm doing from now. It's not about the radio. It's about working for the kingdom, and everything that the kingdom is about is working for the people. So it's like, I want the people to listen to the music. I want the people to love Radiant. I want the people to love what we got going on over here more than the radio. I want the radio to have to come and say, there's a lot of people calling about you. We should play your songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to say, yo, radio, play my songs and tell the people that I'm good. We want it the other way. So in order to get there, you got to make songs with the intention to move the people. And that's why Radiant is the one for me.
And it's dope, just to hear you explain, that level of consciousness. I'm proud of you as well.
Thank you.
I think it's one of those things where it doesn't even matter.
He knows me from like 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
So I mean, it doesn't even matter, how many views, how many listens, whatever.
Right.
It's just something, like you said, that you can pat yourself on the back about. Like, for me, this podcast kind of came to be because I just needed to get something like this out. It wasn't a matter of, okay, well, let me do what everyone wants to hear, whatever the case is. It was just on my heart, and I tried to put my all into it, and continuing to put my all into it. So, I feel good, about this podcast so far. So that's
and when you get done working at 40 hours, it's like, now I have something that I really want to work on, that I can put my energy towards, that I'm happy to be working on. And again, like, bro, that's what life is about. It's about finding your peace and finding your happiness. So even though the 40 hours might not be your peace and happiness, it helps provide that, because it gives you security in your home and your household for your family. It gives you the space to create something like this. So again, you got to give to take. You know what I mean? And in order to get you somewhere higher, you have to understand that you want it, and then start coming up with a plan to get there. And again, that's the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there's too many people that look like me and you, that look at what we got and just complain, and don't start looking at how we can get there. And like, one thing that everybody who's successful talks about is you got to be ready to fail. Like, once you fall in love with failure, you'll stop being afraid of it, and you'll start trying everything. And you'll finally find your niche. But there's a lot of people that look like me and you, that our community has told us that you always got to be that nigga. So if you try something and you're not good at it, you're not that nigga. So you don't want to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, we just got to get out of that stigma. We got to start falling in love with failure, and we got to start trying everything if we want more. If you're happy with where you at, then be happy with where you at. But if you're tired of where you at, don't look at where you at and start complaining, damning everybody, damning these powers that are outside of you. Because when you put that much power into something that's not you, until that changes, you can't succeed. So I take all that, it's the government, or it's white people, or it's this oppression or slavery. Nah, nigga, it's me, brother. I got all the power, and I work with God. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I don't allow none of that nonsense to stop me from getting to where I want to be, whether it's the coronavirus or whether it's whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So either way, man, yeah.
So Radiant dropping on June 1st.
June 1st.
Where's it going to be available at? Where can people check it out?
It's available everywhere. I'm having a little bit of complications with the digital distributor that I'm using. I wanted to do the pre-save, pre-orders for Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, and all that stuff. But for some reason, it's just not allowing it to happen. It's happening exactly how it's supposed to, though, so I don't fret. I don't fear. If you go to my Instagram bio, Brian Cade 1, I have a website where you can click and it'll send you an email when it's out, if you're a Spotify user. If you're an Apple Music user, if you go to your iTunes store, your actual iTunes store, you can find Brian Cade Radiant now, pre-order it. Amazon Music for all my Amazon Prime members, it's out there. Google Play for all the Google Play members. It's honestly available for pre-order now. June 1st when it's out, it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be everywhere, man. Pandora. If you catch it somewhere, or if you want to show somebody something, it's going to be available for Shazam. You know what I mean? Amazon. So yeah, it's just going to be everywhere that you listen to music, because at the end of the day in this era, it's all about accessibility. So I'm going to be everywhere that you can listen to everybody else. You just gotta want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? When I'm
Yeah.
dropping music videos, I'm gonna be dropping merchandise, and I'm gonna be tapped in with everybody who wants to tap in with me. You know what I mean? Because again, this is the resurgence and the reawakening of Cade. So if you think that I'm focused on this working, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna stop, you're gonna be sadly, misinformed, brother. Because
Yeah.
we not stopping.
Right. And if y'all continue to stay tuned to this episode, I understand we might have a little bit of
Yeah.
Radiant
Yeah. I want to
playing.
send some
So
music. If I was there, I'd be able to play you some tracks and we'd be able to do the whole. But we're gonna make it work.
yeah. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. I just want to put one disclaimer out there because yes, we're talking about this new sound. We're talking about this new you, but I do want people to go back and listen to your previous stuff too.
Absolutely.
Not only is it great music, but also it kind of helps you see the evolution of Brian Cade. So
Right, and man, I've
check
always been
all
a
of that out.
positive guy. I'm not out here talking about stick it down your throat or, what I mean, taking your girl and right in your face. None of that, you know what I mean? It's all about love because we love city, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm just very proud of this project because for the last 10 years, I've always used women as such a focal point for my writing topics. And now I really, if you argue it with me, I only got one song on the project about girls. You know what I mean? The first song, it's about my mama. It's about God. It's about me giving everybody from this point on the best of me. Because Best of Me is the first song on the project. So it's like, if we want to talk about it with me, the only song that's, there's only one song that's about Shoddy, and that's evolution in its own. Because when you start again breaking down these great artists like Michael Jackson, you start breaking down artists like Prince or Elton John, like, Bohemian Rhapsody is a song that is just a masterpiece first of all, but it's not about a man falling in love with a woman or, you know what I mean? You listen to Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA, you know what I mean? Or you listening to Bon Jovi, we're halfway there, living, you know what I mean? Like living on a prayer, like these are iconic songs for all of people, you know what I'm saying, of all races. And when you look at them, they're not just songs that are saying, ooh, girl, I need you and I want you. And, and that's again, what did Kendrick say? What did the black man say? A piece of pussy. That's what I need. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what we as black people have been conditioned to believe that that's another source of I love mama. I don't want any of you guys to think that I love you less because I'm not singing about you as much. But I think that it's time for me to take the evolutionary step to become the icon that I want to be. I don't want to just be another local artist from Fresno, and then when it starts getting to the point where I'm past that, I don't just want to be another R&B artist. I want to just be an artist. I want to be somebody that when you see my music, you don't know what it's going to be, but you're excited to hear it. You know what I mean? Because you know that when you hear it, you're going to walk away, just like you said with the Will Smith verse. Like people are still talking about it, not because he was just rapping really good. It was the stuff that he was saying. Again, like we were saying about the lyrics of the records, like it's so important because the intention of the words is everything, because words are the highway to feelings. So the things that I'm saying is giving you an idea of how to get to where I really feel. So when I start really saying different things, talking about topics that a lot of people in our genre aren't talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing that as Black people and urban music makers, I think we need to look at that more and just understand that they look at us as a genre. We beef with one another as artists, but they look at us as a genre and say, y'all niggas never talk about nothing. We're not playing none of that shit. Y'all, there's only two of you guys that ever say anything worth listening to. You know what I'm saying? So I take it upon myself to be the guy with the afro that's coming through like Stevie Wonder in the 70s that's going to get the Grammy Album of the Year because the songs hit on bases that can touch everybody. You know what I'm saying? When you listen to songs like Higher Ground by Stevie Wonder, it's talking about reaching a higher ground. Listening to Superstition, like these aren't songs that are saying baby, 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 baby. These are songs that everybody, when you listen to the song and you got a mind and you love music, you can correlate to. And that's what I'm focused on, is being able to touch people's heart that love music like I love music, you know?
Yeah.
I was really big listening to that Lauryn Hill Miseducation, honestly. That's one that I was instructed to really go back and study. And it's like classic because we know about doo-wop and we know about Everything is Everything and we know about Lost Ones and X Factor. It's classic for, you know, You're Too Good to Be True. But when you start listening to songs like Superstar and she says, come on, baby, light my fire. everything you drop is so tired. Music was supposed to inspire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really start
It hits
understanding.
different.
It hits different, man, and it makes me understand where I want to put it out, how I want people to feel. And that album won 6, 7 Grammys. So it doesn't mean that it's not gonna work. It's just about really being that person, you know what I'm saying, and not being fake and just saying like, well, if I want to be successful, I gotta say this kind of stuff. Like, nigga, if you know me, nigga, this positivity is real, buddy. Before I found out about how crucial the law of attraction was, I've always been a happy person. I always wanted you to be happy, and I always wanted you to feel good. That's why people like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm Brian Cade. That's why I walk into the store and people like, yo, you're Brian, right? And I'm like, yeah. I hope you have a great day, my brother, because it's real love. You know what I'm saying? So you can translate that into music. Like I said, from 19 to 65, it's a different conversation now. Because if somebody who's not 22, 23, 24 don't want to hear it, somebody that's 42, 43, 42 might be willing to hear it and play it for their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all niggas need to be listening to this. I'll take them. I'll take that buy of an album. I'll take that merchandise. I'll put this hat for my son because I love your project. Like, I'll take it all, baby. I'm here to talk to everybody. And when you're ready for the conversation, I'm ready to have it with you.
For sure. I mean, so we got a couple more things before we let you go, before we get out of here.
All good.
I know one thing, and I think a lot of people probably don't really consider, but in the reality of it, you are ultimately competing against, you know, those worldwide names. You're competing against Drake. You're competing against, you know, DaBaby, Wayne, Kanye, basically for, you know, your songs to stay in a listener's rotation. Is that something that you've ever kind of taken into consideration?
Oh, absolutely.
So how that impacted what you've done?
I think that's one thing that I've always instilled in all my friends is like, we got to get out of this whole, because I'm not from Fresno like that. Like, I rep Fresno to the fullest because this is where I lost my virginity. This is where I graduated high school. This is where I can drive around and be like, nigga, let me jump on a 41 and get home real quick, no matter where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I know my way around out here. Even when I was out there in LA, I had to GPS everything. It's so big and new to me. After 2 years, I'm still, let me just GPS just to be safe. You know what I'm saying? So
oh no, you good now. Sorry, you were just breaking up a little bit, but you good now. Yeah,
okay.
You good.
Well, nonetheless, yeah, I think that I've always implemented the fact that we're not competing with just Fresno artists, but I'm competing with Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? Because that's somebody that's my favorite creator. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm competing with these artists that are bigger than me, and I think that that's always been the game plan. It's always been the mentality. But Radiant is the project where I understood where my niche is different than a lot of these brothers. You know what I'm saying? Because even me being a new artist, until I'm discovered by the mainstream, you know what I'm saying? Like, the conversation is so much different than all these, like, when you come out as DaBaby and you slapping the shit out of niggas, right? Every song. If he comes out the next album and he's talking about mental freedom and he's talking about all this different stuff, the fan base that you've accumulated from these first projects, like, they're not trying to hear that, bro. So it's like, now that I've realized that my niche is being the personable person that experiences life the way that you experience it, and I'm able to talk about it, and I might say something that's going to rub you the wrong way, but that's just because I see it that way. You know what I mean? But that's what it's about. That's what it's supposed to be, you know what I mean? Tantalizing. It's supposed to make you feel some type of way. Like, that's what the music is about. So I think that's my niche as far as competing with the mainstream artists, because as mainstream artists, you have a mainstream agenda that you have to push, right? So it's like, Drake, again, like, he has to come out with the Tootsie Slide to a certain degree at this point in his career because he's so big and he has such a fan base that's ready for a certain type of music that if he comes out talking about, you know, Amon Arbery getting shot in his record and that's his new single, you might just lose a percentage of the demographic that's actually buying your records and fueling your mainstream career. So it's like, again, Drake's career was started prior to the coronavirus. My career as Brian Cade, who's dropping Radiant, it started post-coronavirus. And I know that it's a different effect on the world. People are looking for a different conversation. And everybody who hears me that understands what I'm saying, Radiant is out June 1st. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for a different conversation. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, me personally, and I don't want to make it too much of this, but when I saw the Tootsie Slide video in the midst of me working at the cash register, hearing people getting laid off, hearing people losing their job, people losing their businesses, and Drake's in that big ass house dancing. I'm just like, it's a mainstream agenda he's got to push. He can't come out and talk about the stuff that I can talk about right now, because I'm on these front lines watching what's really happening. And when I talk about the stuff that people are talking about in this music, on these beats that slap, you know what I'm saying? And you saying stuff that make people not only dance because the music's good, but you're actually saying something. We were just talking about Lost Ones by J. Cole, the record about the abortion. Why do you think J. Cole can go platinum by himself right now? Because on his first album, he was talking that real shit. And he was getting the mind and the listeners of the real people. So that now that I got real people with me, I know that I got real people with me. Y'all real? Yeah, y'all real? Let's dance. We got a good thing. Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? Right. So like, you know, but I got real people with me. I'm not just out here just making people dance, trying to pretend like this shit ain't real, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's one thing that I'm big on. I'm just like, there was a time when I could just pretend like it's not going on, but now I'm just like, bro, I know that I'm an influential person because I've sat back and lived my life for 28 years, and I've seen the influence that I have on people. So it's like I would be doing people a disservice if I was this influential and saying things that I didn't believe and pushing agendas that I didn't believe just for the income and for the money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm not saying that anybody that we just talked about is on that hype, but just me personally, I'm not on it, brother. Everything that I'm talking about from this day forth is really how I feel, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited to get the feedback from this project. And again, you're saying it's not about how many people stream it. It's really not, because the stuff that I'm saying on this album is so powerful that once the right people hear it, the next one everybody's going to hear, or the one after that everybody's going to hear. You know what I'm saying? But it's about just having that voice and taking your voice and taking your talent and being able to stand for something that needs to be stood for. Because right now there's a lot of people that are scared to do it. Like I said, like there's a lot of artists that want to talk about that real shit, but their agenda won't allow them to do it. Like the Jay-Z and the Jay Electronica album that I really enjoyed, but I was like, as a Jay-Z fan for the last at least 10 years, for sure, you know, more for sure, but just 10 for sure. 10 for sure, but more for sure. He was rapping really, his verses were really deep, man, talking about, you know, a lot of Muslim stuff and just taking it to a very spiritual level. And it was progressively getting there because he's getting older, so he can't talk about the hard knocks no more because he's a billionaire. So he's just starting, but he has to rap like that with Jay Electronica, you know what I mean, who's already a deep person, who has this fan base of people who are looking for a deeper conversation, you know what I mean? So he's able to reinvent himself with the help of Jay Electronica. There's a lot of artists that are looking for the opportunity to reinvent themselves with the help of somebody who's more in touch with this. That's why people love Kendrick Lamar. Because it's like, now Kendrick's out, now I can be a real nigga.
Yeah. Right. All right. So
real niggas sound. Look at Kendrick. Yeah. Let me be a real nigga, please.
True. So I got a game for us to play. It's called Flame or Shame. So ultimately what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw a statement out at you.
Is there a winner of this game or no?
No, it's not a winner. Okay. I'm just getting your own take on it. So I'm gonna make a statement. Yeah. If you agree with it, you know, you say flame, tell us why. If you disagree, shame, tell us why.
All right, I'm ready because I have a unpopular opinion, so I'm ready for this.
Right. Okay. So we all know that you're a huge Kanye fan.
Yes, sir.
All right. Late Registration.
Okay.
Is the best album by Kanye. Is that flame or shame?
I'm like, I looked at the face I made. I'm like, you know what? There's a side of me that will say that's absolute flame. There was a side of me when I was 13 years old, riding my bike, skates, and walking to Clark every morning. I was listening to Late Registration, and there was a vivid time in my life where we major that horn intro where the horns play for like the first 45 seconds. Like I was walking up and down the campus with headphones playing for people. Like, you want to hear some fire? And then when they wouldn't give me the reaction, I'll give me my headphones, baby. You don't know music. You know what I'm saying? If you're not moved by that horn section right now, you don't know music. So there's definitely a side of me that would say that, but I'm a huge, huge fan of the life of Pablo as well. So there's a side of
I
me
know a
as
lot of
well.
people are. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's I feel like it's depending on where you are in your evolution and in your growth, and I think some of it is how you feel about Kanye personally as well, and how
100%.
you viewed him in that period of time.
Because like if you really look at that time of his life, that was when he started really transcending past hip hop culture, but hadn't made it all the way past hip hop culture. Because when you get to graduation, you got samples like Stronger, and you got samples like Find Some Dreams Come True. Like, and the way that I really look at it, because I had a conversation with people I'm working with, we just talked about again, like when I first started talking to him, my favorite songs were all Black artists. And now it's like, if you ask me now, there's more diversity in that favorite artist and favorite song list now because I'm sitting back listening to the music. And I think as Kanye got more exposed to the world after late graduation or late registration and made graduation, he continued to expand past because what was after graduation? The 808 Heartbreak that everybody thought was trash, but then you go back and listen to it now and you're just like, wow, this was just some next level yay shit. So again, I think it is very heavily on everybody wanting that quote unquote old Kanye back, and remembrance of the sample Kanye, the chopping up the soul and stuff like that. But it's like he's still chopping up shit. It's just not soul samples. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesus is one of the most articulately made bodies of work from, you know, all the different genres of music that he implemented on one album. But just because he was on talking about Hedy Stamane and spazzing out, people will try to say that that's not a great album. And I just hate the fact that we have to wait till niggas is dead to really give people the props that they deserve. Because I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan as well. You know what I mean? And like, not talking about anybody in particularly, but there's people that were huge LeBron fans, and it was LeBron versus Kobe conversations all the time. And then once Kobe died, that whole conversation dies out now. And it's just like,
Right.
Kobe's that. It's just like, why you gotta wait till the nigga dead to say what you knew the whole
Give him his
time?
due.
You
Right,
knew he
right,
was the
right.
best. You knew he was great. You could have just said he's great. He doesn't have to. Even if you didn't want to say, Brian, I agree with you. He's not better than Bron, but I'm gonna give you his props. That nigga's cold. We could have said that
Yeah,
before he was dead. You know what I mean? So
that's real. That's real.
my bad for taking
So
away
let
from the game.
no, you good. Let's actually stick hoops for a second.
I
Did
love
you get to watch The
basketball.
Last Dance?
I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched it yet.
I
Okay.
haven't watched it yet.
Okay. So I'll just make this statement then.
Let's get it.
All right. Blame or shame. Once Braun finishes his career, he will be the GOAT.
I'd say shame. Unpopular decision, but I'd say shame, bro. You know what I mean? Like, when it really all comes down to it, Michael Jordan had to play in one of the most, you know, physically brutal. Nobody's doing yoga. Nobody's telling you that you need to be stretching and doing all this, eating right. You know what I'm saying? He's playing in a time where niggas ain't even respected the same way as LeBron being respected the way he is now. You know, he was the first Michael Jordan. But when LeBron came up, there was already a Jordan. You know, we were just talking about that today. Like, Nike thought they were only gonna make $3 million. They made $128 million off of Jordan. So now that the corporations know they can make this much money off of a basketball player, you better believe LeBron had a very easy path. And not saying that I think that the game is rigged, which I do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I gotta agree with you though, because I think for Jordan, especially with the absence of social media during that time, and just the absence of attention on sports in general,
Come
like basically
on.
what Jordan did is like the equivalent of going double platinum with no features.
And in an era where there's no streaming, where you have to get 2 million people to get off their ass and go buy your album, or you got to get 2 people to buy your album 1,000,000 times. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, like
Michael Jordan is
Jordan's
the
responsible for
originator.
the global expansion of the NBA.
Come
And
on.
then also, I understand he took all his bumps and bruises early in his career, just like LeBron did. But Jordan averaged 30 for his
Come
career
on. Come on.
when teams were scoring 75 points in a playoff game, and he
And
was
let's be
averaging 30.
real. Let's be real. There's a couple seasons where I've seen LeBron and not play a lot of games and be able to walk off and say, I averaged 28 this season. But it's like, look at how many games you didn't play because you were registered to not play. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Laker fan. He didn't play a lot of that last season, and they walked away and see he averaged 25 points. And me as a Laker fan, I'm like,
and they missed the playoffs. I mean, yeah.
LeBron, they was rebuilding. I'm like, Kobe didn't have nobody sometimes. This nigga will find a way to make us in that 8th seed, my nigga. Either way, though, it's a different conversation. The thing that irks me the most is that I see a lot of posters and fanfare of LeBron with a Laker jersey. And I just would hate to see that the legacy of the Lakers try to be overshined by someone who didn't spend 20 years there. You know what I'm saying?
So he could never be the greatest Laker, even if he won 3 straight.
I hear people are talking about it, just bringing up statistics, and this is me right here. Just because Drake has more number ones than Michael Jackson, that does not mean that he's a better artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not going to do that.
Time.
We're not going to do that, bro.
Time. Yeah, and we can get into that discussion long down the road, but I think just the inflation.
At Brian Cade, run, follow me. We can have all the conversations. Twitter is where I'm at. You know what I mean? I'm down to talk reckless, and I'm down for my piece to be found 5 years from now talking reckless.
Yeah. So let's stick with GOATs, but let's move back to music.
Okay.
Flame or shame? Lil Wayne is the greatest rapper of all time.
That's gonna be a shame, my friend. Not just shame, but a shame. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a shame because Wayne is definitely up there as far as one of the best wordsmiths of all time. I just think that Jay-Z is the best rapper of all time. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I'm the biggest Jay-Z fan of how he moves. Like, I'm not like when it comes down to artistry and just like, if I could kick it with one of them, I would kick it with Kanye before I kick it with Jay-Z, most likely. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the bars, there's nobody that I think can touch Jay-Z. Lil Wayne is great, but like, as these people who are saying Lil Wayne is the greatest rapper, I want you to get older. I want you to go back and go through Jay-Z's catalog. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a time when Lil Wayne was my favorite rapper, and I was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
He had us all on a string for like 6-7 years. Like,
yeah, he did a great job.
He ran the world,
and he was a great rapper. But then when you get older and start really because then think about it, like, has Lil Wayne had the same effect ever since we've had rappers like Kendrick Lamar come out who have taken the ability of rap to the next level? Has Lil Wayne gone platinum since? And this is just sales, but this is also influence on the people to get out and listen to your music. And I love Lil Wayne. I hope that he sees this and he puts me in the studio for saying this. You know what I'm saying? But since Kendrick Lamar came out, it's hard for a lot of people, since J. Cole, since a lot of these newer cats that are just products of what's already been out. These Lil Wayne times twos, you know what I'm saying? Like, once those people came out and started taking the influence that he had, plus the bars and the concepts and the originality, and they turned it into a new thing, it's like, it's very hard for people like Wayne who, it's like playing your PlayStation 3, you know what I'm saying? Like, PlayStation 5 about to come out, my nigga, stop playing with me. I love Lil Wayne though, and I'm not putting Lil Wayne on over before Hove though.
Yeah. No, I mean, I gotta probably agree with you. I was definitely a late bloomer when it came to Jay-Z because growing up, I listened to, Reasonable Doubt and, spots like that. So my thought of Jay-Z was like, big pimping, to like, Black Album basically. Right. It was kind of what I knew where he was coming out with hits or what you knew. So it took me a while to actually go back and be like, oh, this was Jay-Z.
But that's why when I said it, I want you to grow up and go back to that catalog. That's why you smile like that, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like getting old enough to actually go back and listen to him being a grown-ass man talking about real nigga shit when we was little kids in our little, you know what I mean, knickers, and we was bopping around, and it's like, it's the same thing I was saying about.
Though,
go ahead.
You got to say, though, I think Cole, when it's all said and done, Cole's gonna be there.
I love it. I'm excited to see, because I'm not in that boat with you, my brother. Somebody was like, Nelly's the GOAT. I was like, nah. And then we saw Nelly on that IG video, and I was like, come on, buddy. You know, I think J.
Right.
Cole has incredible talent. I think that he's really good at what he does. But as far as like massive appeal, that's why Jay-Z's the best to me, because it's like prolific bars and popularity. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only am I the most prolific, and I'm going to say the most fire, next level, get your mind running off the double entendres, have you listening to the song 2 weeks from now, catching new shit that you didn't hear, but it's also going to be on the radio. It's also going to be popular. It's also going to be the shit that people need to listen to. I'm not saying that's not the same thing with J. Cole, but there is a demographic of people who like, nah, we're not fucking with
Nah, that's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Real.
Like, and I'm not
it's
trying
a
to knock
generation
him.
that needs to grow up for him as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. But when Hove was like really out here in them streets before he was like knocking, like niggas was knocking that blueprint in Houston, LA, New York, Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody across the board was like, we fucking with Hove. There's no disrespect.
Yeah.
And the only niggas that's really hating on Hove is other New York niggas who want his spot. Like, yo, fuck your nigga. I'm nicer than him, B.
All right, next one I have for you, because I know we a lot of versus battles going on IG Live and everything.
I love them.
I think one that I saw, I don't know if it's actually coming or not, if it was just one that someone speculated. So Flame or Shame, Chris Brown would beat Usher in a versus.
I'm R&B nigga too. You know, at the end of the day, I would have to say Shame. Chris is not about to beat Usher. You know what I mean? Because Chris has a lot of great records, but like certified hits that have stand the test of time. You know, and I think I would even take that back, because I was just singing Deuces a couple days ago. I was like, damn, that's 10 years old. That shit slaps. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. I think that Usher, you know, I'm an old school nigga. You know, you got to pay homage to the GOATs, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think when we start, like, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for me, I don't think Chris Brown has a single album like Confessions. You know what I mean? Like,
that's it. You said it the best.
Everybody was listening to Confessions when Confessions
You said it the best. Like, and I think one thing about Chris, in my opinion, as a musician and a creator, I think Usher is more flexible to work with the people that he thinks is going to give him the best product. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to work with anybody. I'm going to work with the best. Like, when he went in with Jermaine, like, I don't know why I haven't seen Chris Brown and Pharrell in the studio. I'm curious. I don't know why I haven't seen Jermaine Dupri working with Chris Brown. Like, all these great, for like Timbaland and Chris. You know what I'm saying? Like, why have we not seen Swiss Beats and all these great producers that are known for cultivating artists and taking them to the next level? How come we haven't seen Chris? And then you start paying attention to kind of his hot-headedness, and you be like, this nigga Chris might be with him. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So either way.
No, that's a good point. You know, that's a good point.
I don't know. I'm all about what I want, the best music. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if, and that's another reason why I love Kanye, because Kanye is the person who's going to put Jay-Z and Talib Kweli on the same song, even though Kweli is never going to reach out to Jay. Jay's never going to reach out to Kweli. But Kanye going to get both of them in the studio and get them on a record, because he's focused on the music. Michael Jackson had Rod Temperton writing his records because he's focused on the music. It's not about me writing the best song. It's about what's the best record for the world, what's going to affect the people the most. And I think Usher has done more records like that, in my opinion. And again, just where I'm at, man, like Usher, I don't hear Usher like kind of sounds so damn hood and just so gangster. Like, Usher still focused on touching the world with his music. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he get taken to the South and get a little dirty and wants to, you know what I mean? But I just feel like Chris Brown is just very focused on his peers. He wants the people that are in his age bracket to respect what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? With the whole gang affiliation, it's just not really the message that I'm trying to push. And I don't think that that's the message that we need to be putting on a king of anything that represents what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I don't know. I was having a great conversation with somebody last night. And it's another unpopular conversation, but even when Nipsey passed, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking to people from LA, and they were just like, the people who are financially doing well and are in the industry and doing their own thing. They not just a spectator. They making their own moves and making their own waves in the industry or whatever. From music editors who work for film companies, you know what I mean? Not like big shots, but people that's doing well for themselves. They all would tell me the same thing, like it's a tragedy that he passed, but that gang affiliation is it's only gonna take a matter of time before, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it might have been the police, yeah, it might have been this because he was a positive person talking about, but at the end of the day, that gang life is gonna catch up with you. You know what I'm saying? If you've seen Tony Montana, you've seen Goodfellas, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's only a matter of time before, and again, like, that's something that we need to teach ourselves and train ourselves out of. Like, we need to stop idolizing Minister Society. And niggas is like, well, that's hood commentary. That's hood news. We need people to know that this is what they did to our community. It's like, there you go again, giving them so much damn power. You know what I'm saying? Like, we doing this to ourselves because we continue to watch these movies and we continue to allow this to be the normal in our community. Once we turn that shit off and give it a different energy, then we allow different results into our community.
Yeah, I mean, like it's okay to highlight our reality, but just know it doesn't have to be our reality moving forward.
If we highlighting the reality, we highlighting the reality, but we're not making that king. We're not saying the best movie.
Not glorifying it.
Come on, we're not saying Minister Society is the best black movie ever made. And if you like black movies, if you want to get in touch with black people, my white friend, my white brother, my Asian brother, my Mexican brother, if you want to get in touch with my culture, you gotta watch Menace, my nigga. If you ain't seen Boys in the Hood, how you even kicking it with niggas? Like,
and the thing is, if we're gonna keep it 100, that wasn't my upbringing. Like, yes, I can relate to some of those things, but at the same time, just like that wasn't me.
I'll tell you 100%. Like, this is how I knew I was the Radiant, you know, and this is why this is the title. Like, and not just this, but when I was a little kid, my mom used to work at Red Robin's, closing shifts, getting that bread, being a waitress. Her first husband worked as a respiratory therapist, worked 12-hour shifts. So he would work from 7 to 7. So from 3 after school till 7, I was watching my little brother and sister. And we used to come home, do homework, make food or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I used to put on movies. And we had a DVD collection. And I would hear so many people talking about Minister Society as a 5th, 6th grader. You know what I mean? Came home, put it in and watched that first scene of him shooting up the whole store. And I was just like, nah, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just nah because I have little brothers and sisters, but it just didn't make my heart feel good. It didn't make my spirit feel good. And that's how I know I'm not of that. I'm of light, my nigga. I'm of feeling good. I'm of love. Like, we don't, no, even if niggas is talking about my mama, we not going to take somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we put out there. And again, that's not what we represent. And it's funny because this conversation came from Usher and Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, this is how deep I am, though. You know what I'm saying? Because this is how real it is, in my opinion. Like, we sitting here dancing to these records, and I'm dancing to the records too, but I'm dancing to the records when it's time to dance. I'm not in here in my room chilling. What did I say I was listening to? I was listening to D'Angelo, sipping beer, getting ready for this, listening to Black Messiah, putting myself on a vibe, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the kind of stuff that I need to have in my spirit, not that shit that's going to get me hyped up to go fuck somebody up or take somebody's girl or, you know, just be out here acting reckless, bro. And I think that's something that only our culture perpetuates in the music. Only us as black people. They don't do that in country music. They don't do that in rock music. And it's, if you think that's an accident, you're part of the reason. You're part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? If you're like, no, this nigga thinking too deep, you were part of the reason why I made Radiant, because there's a song on there called The Virus. Because I got a song called The Virus because it's relevant. But the virus is love. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need it right now, bud.
Yeah, no. 100%, 100%.
Hey, but shout out to Chris, though. Chris called me up. We in the lab right now. We putting that radiant light on him. He becomes the radiant because I'm in the lab with him, because I'm at the point where it's not about shitting on Chris Brown or shitting on, you know, Drake or shitting on LeBron. It's about, you know what I mean, getting in touch with these brothers and feeling like, look, well, help me further understand what I was saying wrong. Don't be mad at me because I have feelings as I'm watching your movement and I think that this is what it is. Educate me and help me understand what it is so that I can be educated and have a proper conversation and be able to speak on it with more understanding. Because from my perspective, Drake dancing in that house, you look like you don't care about niggas getting laid off. You look like, look at me, I'm balling, nigga, I'm winning. You know what I'm saying? So if that's not what it is, let's have the conversation. Matter of fact, let's put it on the record. let's put some music out and let's have that conversation on the record to start getting people to understand where we coming from. Future, where life is good and you got red bottoms on the same week that everybody getting fired, you got red bottoms on, but nigga, some people ain't got no shoes on right now. So like, let's have that conversation and let me hear where you really was coming from. If that's not where you was coming from, you know.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a different conversation.
No, that's real. That's real. All right. Last flame.
Who is this nigga talking about Future? Nigga, Future is not calling you, nigga. Drake is not finna call you, nigga. So you could go ahead and just kill all that. Like, okay, for sure. Back to you.
Yeah.
Radiant
Put
drops
that all
June
in the
1st.
comments.
You know what I'm
Put
saying?
it all in the comments.
June 1st. June 1st. Radiant drops. Listen to it and tell me it's whack. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Hey, give the feedback. Give the feedback. But hey, listen, support, all that good stuff.
That's
all right.
it.
Last statement. Flame
Yeah.
or shame. Straight Outta Fresno podcast is the best podcast you've ever been on.
Come
You don't
on,
have to answer that to
Flame,
shade
bro.
nobody else.
Flame, bro. Let's get it. This is my first virtual podcast. This is the first time doing
Yeah. No, man, it's
spot.
been a blast. It's been a blast. It's been super fun.
Yeah, man. I'm grateful.
We've gone for so long. I'm probably gonna break this into 2 parts so
Okay.
everybody can take it in. We've had such great discussion. I don't want anybody to miss out just because
Awesome.
they see, oh dang, it's this long. So we're gonna post this in 2 parts.
Let's
I want you guys to all check it out. All right. Brian, tell the people where they can follow you at. Tell the people, about your website, where they can check you
Brian
out, buy merch,
Cade
all that good stuff.
is the name. Brian Cade is the name. Feeling good, hope, positivity is the game. You know, just like, Brian Cade 1 is the handle for pretty much all my social medias. On Facebook, Brian Cade Jr. BrianCade1.com is the website. I got merchandise on the way. Radiant is dropping June 1st. We got music videos on the way. I'm headed out to San Luis Obispo to link up with Erica to create some more music, to shoot a video out there. Yeah, man, I just want to thank you again for having me on the show, man. God is good. You know what I'm saying? I'm very grateful for the position that I'm in. Even before this conversation, I got asked to be a part of a virtual festival. So, a lot of great things are coming. And I just want everybody who's watching this to know that, even if you don't see it, the light is not too far away from us. You know what I mean? And the more you fix your eyes on seeing the light, you know what I mean, the more clear it will become to you, and more likely the sooner that you'll get to the light, And, yeah, man, let's just persist together. We're all in this shit together, bro. Like, we're all in this shit together, from Italy to France to Germany. Like, we all on quarantine, we all locked down. And again, like I was saying, like, this is the most important time for us to really tap into one another and have these conversations that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because what are we gonna do when it opens up? Everybody gonna go buck wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody gonna be running out. So let's take the time to get more at peace with ourselves, so that when we go out, we got something to celebrate and we got something to come back to, not just running ourselves ragged and going out there and shaking ass till ass fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like, buying shots until your Trump check is gone. Like, let's really get to the point where we understand that, life is good. And not only is it good, it's good all the time. And it's all about my perspective. And since I understand that, I'm going to reward myself by going out and having a good time. And then I'm going to come back and continue to realize how good life is. So, I don't know, man. Life is good, bro. Just keep moving forward, bro. I appreciate you again for having me on here. I'm about to jump on this 2K and call it a night, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. You got 2K on Xbox One or PS4?
Xbox One.
I'm gonna have to hit you up at some time because I got on Xbox One too.
Yeah,
I'll never
bro.
play against nobody, so
Let's
I'm
get
gonna have to add
it.
you. All right, well,
good yet, but I might add you in 2
then
months.
Don't hit me up yet. Don't hit me up then. Yeah, I'm nice.
All right, for sure. I'm gonna get my bars up. I'm gonna see you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's another episode of Straight Outta Fresno podcast. You guys know the deal. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, on Instagram at Straight Outta Fresno. Again, we're dropping this in 2 parts. I don't want you guys to miss out on the second of the dope
Tell your friends about it. Make sure you
Brian.
tell people about the conversation, man. Yeah.
Please. Yeah,
let's
comment,
more
share,
conversations.
feedback. Make sure to follow Brian so you can get all the updates on everything in his career. You get to learn about him as a person as well. Radiant dropping on June 1st. Remember, check that out. download it. It's gonna be available everywhere June 1st. So
June 1st.
make sure to get on
Oh,
that.
you can honestly
Pre-order.
pre-order it right now.
Pre-order.
Just go to the
pre-order
iTunes
it right
store on your phone. Go to your iTunes store, not Apple Music, but your actual iTunes store where you buy your music, where it's saved forever. And then just type in Brian Cade, look for Radiant. Be right there, $4.95. Holla at your boy.
All right, for sure. All right, again, Brian, thanks for joining us. And that's been another episode, y'all. Peace.
Put my money on casino.
Baby, can't you see? You're the only girl for me. Take you places that you never seen. We be going overboard, overseas.